Alex Eala is officially the 28th ranked player in the world. Not in a live ranking. Not in a prediction. Not in a headline built to create excitement. Officially, number 28. That number should make the rest of the WTA pay attention. Because 1 year ago, many people still treated her biggest victories like beautiful accidents. A great week. A favorable draw. A talented young player catching a famous opponent at the perfect moment. That explanation is becoming harder to defend. Rankings do not care how emotional a celebration looks on social media. They do not reward one viral match forever. They measure what a player can produce across months of travel, pressure, different surfaces, and opponents who are actively trying to expose every weakness. Alex Eala now has that body of work. Miami made the tennis world notice her. Eastbourne showed that the breakthrough could survive after the surprise disappeared. Then the next season brought a quarterfinal in Dubai, a title in Birmingham, a semi-final in Berlin, and a run into the second week of Wimbledon. Now the official ranking confirms what those results have been saying. Alex is not visiting the elite level of the WTA anymore. She is moving into it. But number 28 is not the most surprising part of this story. The real surprise is how quickly the distance disappeared. At the beginning of 2025, Alex was ranked outside the top 140. She was still fighting for access to the biggest tournaments. She still needed wildcards, qualifying matches, and results at smaller events to reach the stages that established stars entered automatically. Now she stands inside the top 30. That changes the way tournaments see her. It changes the way opponents prepare for her. And it changes the pressure she carries onto every court. When a player is outside the spotlight, elite opponents can arrive with limited information. When a player enters the top 30, teams study everything. They watch return positions. They examine second serve patterns. They track preferred directions under pressure. They search for the exact moment when confidence turns into hesitation. The question is no longer whether Alex Eala belongs on the WTA Tour. That question has been answered. The new question is harder. What happens when the entire tour accepts that she is dangerous? Can she keep climbing when nobody is surprised anymore? Can she win when opponents arrive with a plan built specifically to stop her? And how did a girl who left the Philippines at 13 reach this position before much of the tennis world understood what was happening? To understand why number 28 matters, you have to return to the years before packed stadiums and global headlines. In 2018, Alex moved to Mallorca and began training at the Rafa Nadal Academy. The opportunity sounded extraordinary. Elite coaches. Professional facilities. A daily environment built around discipline, competition, and repetition. But opportunity did not remove the cost. Alex was still a child living far from home. Her family was thousands of miles away. The language was different. The routine was demanding. Train. Study. Recover. Train again. Then repeat it the next day. There was no guarantee that those hours would create a professional career. There was only the belief that every difficult day might move her closer. The academy gave Alex structure. It gave her access to high-level coaching and stronger competition. It placed her in an environment where excellence was normal. But the academy could not play the matches for her. It could not control the nerves before an important point. It could not carry her through another lonely trip. It could not erase a painful loss before the next morning. Alex had to learn how to carry those things herself. The junior results arrived first. She won the Australian Open girls doubles title in 2020. She added the Roland Garros girls doubles title in 2021. Then came the achievement that changed the scale of her promise. In 2022, Alex won the US Open girls singles championship. She became the first player from the Philippines to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. For Filipino tennis, it was historic. For Alex, it was also the beginning of a more difficult test. Junior success creates excitement before the hardest work begins. At junior level, talent can separate a player from the field. On the professional tour, almost every opponent was once the most talented player in her age group. The serves are heavier. The returns land deeper. The rallies punish weak court position. Experienced players recognize patterns before a younger opponent realizes she has revealed one. A junior trophy can open the next door. It cannot guarantee what waits behind it. The transition was not immediate. Alex traveled to events that received almost no international attention. She competed on courts where empty seats outnumbered spectators. She played qualifying matches that most fans would never see. She gathered ranking points one tournament at a time. There were no dramatic introductions. No giant photographs outside the stadium. No crowd waiting for a signature. There was only the next opponent. In 2024, Alex won the biggest professional title of her career at that point, an ITF 100 event in Spain. She reached a career-high ranking of number 143. That was real progress. It was also a reminder of how far she still had to travel. Number 143 is not close to number 28. It is another competitive world. At that level, players fight for entry into larger events. A difficult week can mean another qualifying draw. A poor month can remove opportunities that took an entire season to earn. Alex was already carrying expectations that did not match her ranking. In the Philippines, many people saw a future star. Across the wider tennis world, she was still viewed as a successful junior trying to become a consistent professional. She was caught between those two identities. Too accomplished to be treated like an unknown. Not established enough to be treated like a threat. Every early loss brought the same questions back. Was she strong enough for this level? Could her serve survive against elite returners? Would junior success ever become consistent professional results? The uncertainty did not need a dramatic collapse to become difficult. It lived inside the routine. Flights. Hotels. Training sessions. Empty stands. Short celebrations. Long recoveries. Then another match. That middle stage can break talented players. Not because they lack ability. Because progress can remain invisible for too long. A player can train harder and still lose in the first round. She can improve her movement and still leave without a headline. She can become better every month while the ranking changes only a few places. The public remembers trophies and upsets. Players also live through the weeks when nothing appears to move. Alex had no long line of Filipino WTA stars showing her exactly how this path would unfold. Every major step became new territory. Every setback felt heavier because so many people wanted the breakthrough to arrive. Still, she continued, not because she knew exactly when the reward would come, because continuing was the only way to find out. That is why number 28 contains more than the results people saw on television. It contains the years when almost nobody outside her team was watching. By the beginning of 2025, Alex had improved, but most casual tennis fans still did not know her name. She arrived in Miami ranked number 140. The stars received the attention. Alex received a wild card and another opportunity. The draw did not offer an easy path. Jelena Ostapenko was a Grand Slam champion with fearless power. Madison Keys had recently become an Australian Open champion. Iga Swiatek had spent years defining the highest level of the sport. Most players ranked outside the top 100 would have viewed that sequence as punishment. For Alex, it became the week that changed everything. First came Ostapenko. Alex did not try to win a pure power contest. She redirected pace. She changed direction early. She used her left-handed patterns to create uncomfortable movement. Most importantly, she continued making aggressive decisions when the upset became possible. That matters. Young players often become cautious when they realize a famous victory is close. They stop trusting the shots that created the opportunity. They protect the lead instead of building it. Alex kept asking questions. Can you defend this angle? Can you recover in time? Can you handle another ball into the space you just left? Then came Keys. The challenge changed. Keys could end points with one clean strike. Trying to hit harder than her would have been a losing plan. Alex needed to make the power difficult to control. She absorbed pace. She extended the rallies when necessary. She forced Keys to play one more ball from positions that were not always comfortable. The important detail was not only that Alex won. It was that she solved a different problem. Against Ostapenko, she redirected aggression. Against Keys, she managed explosive power. She was not surviving on emotion alone. She was reading the match. Then Swiatek stood across the net. This was no longer a promising young player facing a respected veteran. This was Alex facing one of the defining players of her generation. Swiatek could turn a neutral return into immediate pressure. Her movement allowed her to create offense from positions where most players were only trying to survive. Everything about the matchup suggested that Alex would eventually be pushed backward. That did not happen. Alex played close to the baseline and took time away. She changed direction before rallies became predictable. She attacked the second serve. She kept her body language controlled when the score became tense. She did not need to overpower Swiatek. She needed to disrupt her rhythm. And she did. Alex won in straight sets. She became the first Filipina to reach a WTA semifinal. The result was historic. But the deeper change happened inside the story surrounding her career. For years, the question had been whether Alex could handle the level of elite players. In Miami, elite players had to handle her. That was the twist. The breakthrough did not come from one magical improvement that appeared overnight. Alex did not suddenly discover impossible power. She did not become a different athlete in 1 week. Miami revealed what the difficult years had already built. Smaller events taught her how to compete without energy from the crowd. Qualifying matches taught her how to begin tournaments under pressure. Losses taught her how to identify problems before they became disasters. The long climb taught her how to stay patient when progress was difficult to see. Everything that once made the journey look slow became useful when the stage finally became fast. Miami was not the week Alex suddenly became talented. It was the week the public finally saw what years of development had produced. That is why the victory over Swiatek carried so much weight. It did not look like a player escaping with an upset. It looked like a player discovering that her game could function under the pressure created by the best players in the world. Not in practice. Not in a junior event. Not in a prediction about the future. On a WTA 1000 court. Against champions. With the world watching. But Miami created a new problem almost immediately. Before that tournament, opponents could treat Alex like an unfamiliar young player. After Miami, they had video, they had patterns, they could study where she stood on returns. They could examine the direction she preferred under pressure. They could attack her second serve and test whether confidence survived after the element of surprise disappeared. The tour had noticed her. Now the tour could prepare for her. That is where many breakthrough stories begin to fade. The first great week is powered by freedom. The next months are shaped by expectation. Suddenly, Alex was not entering tournaments as a hidden danger. She was entering as the player who had defeated Ostapenko, Keys, and Swiatek. Every opponent wanted to avoid becoming the next famous name attached to her rise. Every crowd expected another moment. Every loss risked being described as proof that Miami had only been a hot streak. One magical tournament can transform a reputation. It cannot guarantee a career. Alex still had to prove that Miami was not the ending. It was the beginning. The next major answer came on grass at Eastbourne. Grass gives players less time. The ball stays low. Poor decisions are punished quickly. For a young player still building consistency, the surface can expose every hesitation. Alex entered through qualifying. Then she kept winning. Round after round, the pressure increased. The surprise was already gone. Opponents knew about Miami. They knew she could defeat champions. They still could not stop her from reaching the final. Alex became the first Filipina to reach a WTA singles final. She came within 4 championship points of winning the title before Maya Joint survived and took the match in a final set tiebreak. The loss was painful. The achievement remained important. Miami showed that the highest level of Alex could trouble champions. Eastbourne showed that she could carry a run through qualifying and all the way into a final on a completely different surface. That was not a repeat of Miami. It was a new form of proof. By November 2025, Alex had entered the top 50. She began the year at number 147. She became the first Filipina inside the top 50. That rise did not come from one afternoon. It came from accumulation. A player reaches that territory by collecting results across cities, surfaces, and different kinds of pressure. She has to win when the crowd is loud. She also has to win when almost nobody is watching. She has to recover from losses before they become losing streaks. She has to keep moving when the next tournament offers no emotional reward. That was the hidden challenge after Miami. Alex had to build a career while the world was still talking about one unforgettable week. She could not live inside the upset forever. She had to become consistent enough that the upset stopped feeling impossible. Then 2026 began. This was the season that would reveal whether the progress could survive a full scouting report. Alex opened the year with a semi-final in Auckland. She reached another quarterfinal in Abu Dhabi. Then Dubai raised the level again. At the WTA 1000 event, Alex defeated Jasmine Paolini for another top 10 victory. She beat Sorana Cirstea and reached the second WTA 1000 quarterfinal of her career. Coco Gauff stopped the run with a dominant performance. That loss mattered too. The top of the WTA does not offer a smooth climb. It exposes weaknesses immediately. One day, a player can look ready to threaten anyone. The next day, a champion can show her how much work remains. The important question was not whether Alex would avoid difficult losses. She would not. The question was whether those losses would stop the larger rise. They did not. By March, she reached number 29. For the first time, Alex had entered the top 30. But the ranking later moved backward. That is normal in a rolling system. Points leave. New results replace them. A career does not climb in one perfect line. Alex had to build again. The grass season became the answer. First came Birmingham. Alex entered the WTA 125 event as the top seed. That detail changed the pressure. She was not the unknown player chasing a famous opponent. She was the player others wanted to defeat. She reached the final against Nikola Bartonkova. Alex lost the opening set. She did not disappear. She fought back and won in 3 sets. It was the second WTA 125 title of her career. It was also the biggest title she had won to that point. More importantly, it showed that Alex could carry the expectation of being the favorite. A week later, the challenge became much larger. Berlin featured some of the strongest players in the world. Alex defeated Donna Vekic. Then she faced Elena Rybakina, the world number 2 and one of the most dangerous grass court players in the sport. This was exactly the kind of match that once would have been described as a free opportunity. But Alex was no longer satisfied with simply sharing the court. She extended rallies. She took away comfortable attacking positions. She remained composed late in the second set, then she completed the upset in straight sets. The next challenge was Elena Svitolina. Another top 10 opponent. Another experienced player. Another match that demanded a different solution. Alex won again and reached the Berlin semifinal. Linda Noskova ended the run. But by then, the message was clear. Miami was not the only place where Alex could defeat elite opponents. She could do it on grass. She could do it after they had studied her. She could do it in consecutive rounds. Then Wimbledon arrived. This was the stage that could turn a strong season into something historic. In 2025, Alex had made her Wimbledon main draw debut against the defending champion, Barbara Krejcikova. She lost in the first round. 1 year later, she returned as the number 29 seed. The position was different. The expectation was different. So, was the result. In the first round, Alex defeated Renata Zarazua in straight sets. It was the first Wimbledon main draw victory of her career. In the second round, Maya Joint took the opening set. The same opponent who had denied Alex the Eastbourne title 1 year earlier was now trying to end her Wimbledon run. Alex responded with control. She won the second set. Then she dominated the third and lost only 2 games across the final 2 sets. More importantly, Alex became the first Filipina to reach the third round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. Waiting next was Iga Swiatek, the defending Wimbledon champion. The player Alex had defeated in Miami. This time, there was no surprise. Swiatek knew the patterns. She knew the angles. She knew Alex could remain calm in important moments. Preparation should have protected the champion. It did not. The first set became a test of nerve. Alex stayed close. She survived the pressure. She won the tiebreak. Then she took control of the second set and completed another straight sets victory. The second win changed the meaning of the first. One victory can be called an upset. 2 victories against the same champion create a matchup that must be taken seriously. Alex was no longer catching Swiatek before she understood the danger. She was defeating her after the danger had been identified. That victory made Alex the first Filipina to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam. It also placed her inside the second week of Wimbledon. Jasmine Paolini ended the run in 3 sets. Alex fought back after losing the opening set, but Paolini controlled the decisive moments in the third. The loss prevented Alex from reaching a first Grand Slam quarterfinal. It did not erase the progress. She had won 3 matches at Wimbledon. She had defeated the defending champion. She had shown that her game could survive the pressure of center court. And the ranking points carried her to number 28. Now return to the number from the beginning. 1,666 points. Alex stands only 1 point behind number 27. She is only 8 points behind number 26. That is almost nothing across a full tennis season. One additional round can change the order. One strong week on the American hard courts can move her higher. This is why number 28 is not the ending. It is evidence that the rise is still active. Miami proved that Alex could defeat champions. Eastbourne proved that she could sustain a run after the surprise disappeared. The top 50 showed that she could accumulate results. Dubai proved that she could return to the final stages of a WTA 1000 event. Birmingham showed that she could win a title as the favorite. Berlin proved that she could defeat multiple top 10 opponents on grass. Wimbledon proved that she could perform when the pressure became global. Number 28 connects the most recent results inside a ranking system that measures the previous 52 weeks. It does not reward the memory of Miami forever. It rewards what Alex continued to produce after Miami changed her life. That is what makes the ranking powerful. The breakthrough survived the attention, but every confirmation creates a new test. Alex will now enter tournaments with better access and heavier expectations. Opponents will study her best matches. They will attack the areas that still need improvement. They will target the second serve. They will make her play longer service games. They will test whether she can create enough damage when the first strike does not end the point. They will refuse to treat her like an underdog. That may be the biggest change of all. For most of her career, Alex chased the players above her. Now players below her will chase Alex. She is no longer the unknown talent hidden inside a difficult draw. She is one of the names that can make the draw feel dangerous. That creates pressure. It also creates opportunity. A top 30 ranking improves tournament access. It can produce more favorable positions in draws. It can reduce the number of qualifying matches. It gives Alex more chances to arrive at major tournaments with energy still available. But access alone does not create the next breakthrough. The top 20 is filled with players who serve bigger, defend better, and punish hesitation faster. To keep climbing, Alex will need more than courage. She will need to protect her serve under pressure. She will need to create more free points. She will need to turn close matches into routine victories. She will need to recover when an opponent has already studied her best pattern and removes it. This is where the journey becomes more demanding. The early rise asked whether Alex could surprise the best players. The next stage asks whether she can defeat them when they are ready. It asks whether she can win on an ordinary Tuesday, not only on a historic center court afternoon. It asks whether she can carry expectation without losing the freedom that made her dangerous. That test begins on the American hard courts. The surface fits many of her strengths. She can take the ball early. She can redirect pace. Her left-handed angles can open the court. The crowds will be loud. The attention will grow with every tournament leading toward New York. And New York carries special meaning. It is where Alex won the US Open girls singles title in 2022. It is where she first showed that a player from the Philippines could stand alone on a Grand Slam stage and finish the job. Now she returns as a top 30 professional. Not as a junior champion protecting a dream, as a ranked threat trying to build the next part of her career. That difference matters. Alex has not completed the journey. She has not won a WTA Tour singles title. She has not reached a Grand Slam quarterfinal. She has not spent years inside the top 10. There are still technical questions, there are still difficult matchups. There will still be early losses that feel disappointing. That is exactly why this moment is so important. We are not watching the finished version of Alex Eala. We are watching the moment when possibility becomes expectation. For years, she could enter matches with almost nothing to lose. The higher-ranked player carried the pressure. The famous opponent received the attention. Alex could attack freely because few people expected her to control the match. That advantage is disappearing. At number 28, opponents will arrive prepared. They will study the left-handed patterns. They will attack the second serve. They will test her patience. They will try to make her feel the weight of being favored. The next stage will not ask whether Alex belongs. It will ask how she responds after belonging becomes normal. That may be the hardest challenge she has faced. It may also reveal how high she can truly climb. Because number 28 is not built on one lucky draw. It is not built on one emotional week. It is not built on one famous opponent having a bad day. It is built on a Miami semifinal. An Eastbourne final. A place inside the top 50. A Dubai quarterfinal. A Birmingham title. A Berlin semifinal. A Wimbledon fourth round. Different cities. Different surfaces. Different forms of pressure. The same player continuing to find answers. The surprise is gone. The results are still coming. That is what should concern the rest of the tour. Eala is no longer asking the WTA to notice her. She is forcing the tour to prepare for her. Number 28 may be the highest ranking of her career today. But it does not feel like a destination. It feels like a warning. The tennis world once wondered whether Eala belonged among the best. That question has been answered. The new question is far more difficult. How high can she climb when nobody underestimates her anymore? Tell me in the comments which result convinced you that the rise was real. Miami, Eastbourne, Dubai, Berlin, or Wimbledon. And subscribe to stay with this journey. Because the next answer will not come from another prediction. It will come when Eala steps onto an American hard court with the entire WTA waiting for her.